So as we move further into counting methods, chapter 10, the next section, 10.2, talks about the fundamental counting principle. So again, as we were talking about, you know, 10.1, systematic listings is a way to start to develop patterns to what we call some of the more advanced ways of counting. So the first one we're going to get involved in is the fundamental counting principle. So one of the things we have to know before we get into the fundamental counting principle is what is a factorial? So a factorial is a mathematical operation, a little bit different, that multiplies a whole number by every positive whole number below it. It's written with an exclamation point. So a lot of times we see this in factorial. So an exclamation point implies special math. So the basic definition is in factorial kind of means start with that whole number and multiply by every whole number below it until you get to 1. Now, a special one is 0 factorial. 0 factorial is defined as 1, so all the rules can work out the way they need to. So to make this rule work, they have to make some other little rules, and that is 0 factorial actually stands for 1. So 5 factorial kind of stands for 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 120. 4 factorial would be written as 4 with an exclamation point, and that stands for 4 times 3, which is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 24 times 1 would be 24. Some of this math, if you get small enough, you don't really need a calculator for. Notice that 1 factorial just means 1 times 1, or just 1. And as we mentioned earlier, 0 factorial is the special one. 0 factorial represents 1. On your calculator, like I said, you should have access to a TI-84 in your Unit 2 folder. So if you don't have a TI-84, there is a TI-84 calculator link that you can use to do some of this math. So if you want me to help you model some of this, then the TI-84 would be the best way to go. So the factorial is a operation that can be found on the calculator. The first thing you have to do is hit the math button. So this button right here, it's a little blurry, but it's the math button. So if I click on it, it gives me a menu over here. The one I want is this PROB. I can move to the right to it, or I can move to the left to it. Either way. So I have a left directional pad or a right directional pad. My instincts say go right, so I'm going to go right. So I highlight probability, and notice how it gives me another submenu. And notice how there is a factorial located here. Now, before I can actually make this happen though, let me quit. So quit is right above mode, but notice how it's in blue. So I have to hit the second button and hit the mode button, and it'll get me back out of all that. So quitting just takes me back to the home screen, if you will. So if I want to type in 5 factorial into the calculator, I actually have to type in the 5 first and then go hunt for that symbol. So hit the math button, use my directional pad, count over to the probability. Notice how I've got that highlighted now. Now if I drop down to 4, or if I just choose 4, it'll put 5 factorial in, which should give me the 120. So a factorial is a symbol on the calculator. So if I do type in the 4, go to the math button, and I can go left, 1, 2. Notice how it's actually a little shorter. Choose number 4, or use your down arrow and highlight number 4. Hit enter, and it puts 4 factorial in, which does give me the 4 times the 3 times the 2 times the 1. But your calculator is designed to actually do that math. So it does give me a 24. If I type in 1 math, go to probability, number 4, it should give me 1. And if I type in 0 math, go to probability, choose number 4. Notice how it does give me 0 factorial, and it should give me 1. So the calculator is designed to do that. So that's a little bit of an introduction into the factorial, and a lot of upcoming sections, this factorial is part of the formula.